Hi, this video is going to be me ranting, as usual, about football. The first point I'm going to make is going to be about footballers' wages. The minimum they get if they're someone like Motherwell or the Rangers is about 70 grand a week. And if they're someone like, I don't know, Man City or Man United, they get about 220 grand a week. It would take most people about 6 years to earn that minimum. They get paid like extravagant amount of money for doing something that millions of people do for free. Well, the ball's not exactly free, but you know, people like soldiers, they earn meager amounts of money and they do such amazing things. They protect the borders and fight for everyone's safety. If it wasn't for soldiers, there'd be no footballers because, let's face it, without soldiers we'd probably all be dead. My second point is football conduct, like how they act on the pitch and off the pitch. I don't understand why, like, how they act in clubs. The media portrays it that they're gonna act like terrible in the next game because they play football, they play a game one day, they get the next day off, and then they play it again. And because if they're going out drinking after the game, even if they've lost, it's a cheer up drink, then they're going to have the day off to get rid of the hangover. So unless they're really, really, really drunk, then they're not exactly going to be like running around the pitch like still in bad moods, are they? And one thing I really don't understand is they spit on the pitch, right? And then when they score a goal, they slide into it. I don't understand that because it's just so stupid. And I'm not even joking, but like when someone scores a goal, I swear to God, or every other player runs halfway up the pitch to come rape them, basically. Because I have seen better behaved monkeys, to be honest, when I went to a zoo in like year 3. So that's the other part of football that I don't understand is I understand why they have a linesman and a referee, but I don't understand why they have like 4 referees to one game. I mean, I can understand the referee, the main referee, the linesman, and maybe a backup referee, but 4 referees, I think that is a bit over the top. And like, one thing that I actually do like about football is that you can tell which footballer has kids, because when they take the kids onto the pitch with them, you can tell which footballer has kids because the match today it was Liverpool and Everton because it was a Merseyside derby, and Gerrard, I think, no, it was Lampard. No, it was yeah, it was Gerrard, I think. Um, no, it was Lampard. It was definitely Lampard. He had this little boy with him, and I actually think they're playing Liverpool. Never mind. Um, say Lampard, he had this little boy with him, and let's just say the other team was Motherwell. I know that a Premier League wouldn't play like second division, but I've forgotten the other team, so we'll just use Motherwell as an example. Lampard, this little boy that he had with him was about 7 or 8, and he looked so nervous. And then Lampard, Lampard was like talking to him a bit, just like I think he was asking him his name and that, and how old he was. And he kept on like squeezing his shoulder, like reassuring him and giving him a hug, and just like generally talking to him. But the other team, I can't remember who it was. Let's just say Motherwell, for example. Their goalie was I'm sure they're from Everton. Never mind. Their goalie, no, it was like one of their midfielders actually. He had a little girl with him, and the only time he acknowledged her presence was to like usher her forward onto the pitch. So I just think with people like that, you can just immediately tell which footballer's got kids. And another thing I don't understand is why goalies, like, why goalies are allowed to pick up the ball. I mean, I know they can catch it, but they're allowed to throw it like on the pitch, and some people like De Gea, he can throw it halfway down the pitch. Surely goalies should be allowed out of the net, like fully out of the net. But if they do that, they have to be like every other football player, which I don't think that made any sense, but it did to me. I think my next video is going to be about the problems I have with my generation, like hipsters and tramps. Bye!